Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a stoner comedy from 2010. That movie is High School. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't know a thing about this movie until about 6 months ago, when I was browsing around Family Video, and the trailer for this thing popped up on the TVs. And for whatever reason, I found myself stopping and watching the trailer, and it really interested me. Essentially, it is basically about the smartest kid in this high school getting completely wasted on pot one night. The following day, it's found out that the school is going to institute drug tests. Anyone who fails the drug test is going to be expelled, and fearing that he's not going to be able to get into college, which makes sense if you're, expelled, he basically decides to attempt to get the entire school high in hopes that it will throw off the test under the logic that they can't expel everybody. At least that's how it was explained in the trailer. The whole thing sounded really cool, and well, when I went back to Family Video recently and they had this thing for sale for $2, I kind of said, you know what? Even if this thing sucks, what the hell, it only costs me $2. I'm really hoping for it to be good, especially since that premise sounds just goofy enough to work. But the only way I'm going to find out if this damn thing's any good at all is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out High School. Okay, guys, I think I know what would make spelling bees on television watchable. If the people at the spelling bees were high on pot. That is kind of funny, guys. I swear to God, guys, I do not think I'm going to get used to seeing Michael, chickless with hair, okay? I don't think I've ever seen him in anything with hair, and even though this is an obvious wig, it doesn't look like Michael Chickless, and it's kind of bugging me a little. Well, guys, I think I can safely say this. Adrian fucking Brody really knows how to play an insane drug dealer very, very well. I just kind of wanted to share that. Wait, so this drug dealer's told that there are cameras in the school, and his first response is to pull a gun? No, if you find out that there's cameras, wouldn't you run? I totally understand he is there because these guys pinched his, load of massive super, drug, but still, when you're told that there's cameras, pulling a fucking gun's the last thing you fucking do, high or not. Just saying, guys. So, he was able to turn this oral presentation about Hamlet into about being valedictorian and now about having the hots for one of the sexiest chicks in school, at least as we're told in the film. I don't know how the hell someone's able to segue like that, but goddammit, he made it fucking work. I'm kind of surprised. Well, guys, that was High School. Holy shit, that was good. Okay, let me shut that movie off. Alright. Holy hell. Alright, I guess it's time to try to talk about this movie. Well, I'm going to say, when I went into this thing, I was absolutely expecting a very poorly written stoner comedy. Granted, I wasn't really putting it on the same low level that I wound up dumping Cheech and Chong's animated movie into, but I still was not expecting something good. I really wasn't expecting anything big, and well, this movie surprised the hell out of me, guys. This is one of the most smartly written stoner films I have ever seen. This was amazing. Alright, so, okay. I will say that the writing does have a couple of small hitches. I am not about to say that the writing is flawless. I still do not see why our two main characters had to steal this, drug dealer's very special formulated powdered weed when they're making their pot brownies, when they could just have bought like the cheapest shit possible from him in order to make the brownies. I mean, I totally understand that kind of sets up the subplot where the drug dealer, Psycho Ed, goes looking for them to try to get his shit back, and thus or barring that, get paid for what he made, which wound up being a little shaker of shit about this big, $50,000. That is a lot, and at least I'm going to assume it's a lot. I don't smoke weed, I wouldn't know. Anyway, so beyond things like that, the rest of the film is written in a very, very smart way, which you normally don't expect from stoner comedies. The very fact that most of this movie has the student body and the faculty and protesting parents outside, all of them absolutely buzzed out of their fucking mind on pot brownies. You really aren't expecting a lot there. You seriously are not expecting, like top-notch, funny shit. You're just sort of expecting like a little bit of, like stoner humor that is just going to make you giggle. No, this shit is going to make you openly laugh. I loved the writing here. I really don't know how to explain it without horribly spoiling parts of the story. The only thing I can tell you is that this is one of the most clever stoner scripts I have ever seen. Which, again, is saying a lot considering the low standard of stoner humor. So it's way out there, guys. This thing here is like the top of the heap, along with other classics like Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke and Half Baked as really well-written stoner comedies. So writing here is absolutely tops. Acting, I would like to say that that this is probably only like the second movie I know of that I've seen that had Adrian Brody in it. And after sitting through Splice and seeing how poorly he did there, I was fearing the absolute worst when I found out that Adrian Brody plays Psycho Ed, the drug dealer. My God, he steals the show here, guys. I mean, okay, everybody else does a fantastic job, and I could sit here and I could talk about, like Yardley Smith's couple of scenes, or I could talk about Colin Hanks, or Michael Chiklis, or anyone else who just puts in a fantastic showing. But Adrian Brody towers over all of them with his performance as Psycho Ed. It is so absolutely amazing, where he is able to play completely crazy, occasionally like genuinely frightening, and also incredibly funny. It all works out, okay? So I am going to say that everybody else here does a fantastic job, and I am not going to discount any of it, but frankly, Adrian Brody basically set the high point for this, and nobody else was ever going to touch it. Brody steals the show here, and mind you, now with that, everybody else still turns in a fantastic showing, and there is just something about Yardley Smith, who's the voice of Lisa Simpson, whose natural speaking voice is very close to what she uses as, Lisa, talking about how when she was in high school she had a glass dildo, and she pretended that it was Bryan Adams' dick. It's like, that is just wrong on a whole host of levels, but still incredibly funny. This movie, guys, it has awesome writing, it has fantastic casting. The humor in it, at no time does it, well, no, it actually does occasionally go for a cheap joke, but normally, though, it skews as far away from the ultra cheap jokes as possible, and goes for the really good stuff. But once more, that there's talking writing and not acting. The acting here from everybody was fantastic, and I can't think of a single actor who turned in a bad showing. So that much there is just awesome. Editing here was good, and sound mix was good, and also like the camera work was good. Music, I'd like to say right now that I know that this movie has a score, and as I finish watching the thing, I can tell you I have no memory of what a single piece of the music sounded like. So if there's anything I can say is that the score in this thing is absolutely forgettable as hell, but that also is sort of a positive, because that means that the score wasn't bad in any way. Everything worked really, really well with the scenes, but at no time does the score jump out and show itself as this bright, glistening piece of awesome amongst everything else. If there's anything in this movie which is sort of a low point, I would have to say that it is the score. There really is not much here in terms of music, and what is here is incredibly gettable. However, none of that is going to take away from the final product, which is still just absolutely fantastic. Okay, so lighting here is really good. I am going to say, when all is said and done, can I recommend High School? You bet your ass I do, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, even if you're not a fan of stoner humor, and even guys, if the very concept of somebody getting an entire school high in order to keep from being fucking, expelled, now even guys, if that premise does not sound right to you, I still say you have to check this movie out, because you will probably be pleasantly shocked. I swear, guys, when I walked into Family Video and I saw they had a couple copies of this thing for sale for $2, I thought, you know what? It's probably going to suck. And if it does, oh well, it's just $2. But now I'm looking at it and going, I got this thing for $2. That is a huge fucking steal. This thing here, guys, is going to have a nice happy spot on my fucking Blu-ray shelf. And if you guys can find a copy anywhere, Netflix, Hulu, Family Video, if you can find a Family Video in your area that still has a copy, especially if it's a copy that is for sale, pick it up, because you can probably get it for like $2. It's totally worth it. Otherwise, rent it or Redbox it. Do something. You guys have got to see this thing. This is a very, very I would almost want to say underrated film, because remember, guys, it came out in 2010. And it's virtually unknown. If you guys want to see something funny and you want to see something witty, go ahead and look for High School. You guys are not going to be sorry. This thing, again, I am still kind of sort of shocked. I had no idea this thing was going to be this good. So yes, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.